Hey, maybe I should do more videos about replies that I get from people, because a woman just replied to something I said somewhere about the gospel being preached to the entire world. She's like, no, no, no. After the tribulation starts, it's only going to be preached to the Jews. I'm like, where do you get that from? Because right here, Jesus in Matthew 24, verse 14 says, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all of the world as a witness to all the nations. All right, look, the word all is very clear. And then the end will come. People used to say, well, we better start preaching the gospel to all the nations so the rapture can happen. This end has nothing to do with the rapture. Well, technically it's 7 years after the rapture. This end is after the rapture. This is the end when Jesus comes back, the end of the tribulation. But anyway, the main thing is she thought, well, that's when, yes, the tribulation is about restoring the kingdom to, of Israel to Jesus, the King. That's the kingdom gospel. But this gospel will not just be kept to just the Jews. It will be preached to everyone. So yes, there will be people that are not reached right now that will get saved during the tribulation. There are people that, and I hope for the sake of like my cousin, that I've told him about the gospel. He started to believe it whenever I showed him in the Revelation how things were happening. Because back then, this was back in the 80s, Russia was still our enemy, and Russia is in the Bible. And he was like, that's crazy. That Bible was written before Russia was even considered a nation. It wasn't even a nation at that time. And that kind of blew his mind, but he still doesn't believe. So I wonder if he's going to get saved during the tribulation. I hope. Because then you're like, well, everything that Scott said is true. He's, going to start seeing that what I've said is true, because he's seen all the phony preachers. We lived in the 80s, whenever, Jimmy Swagger, and before I became a Christian, it was Jim and Tammy Baker. I don't know much about that. I just remember all those t-shirts people were wearing where I ran into Tammy Faye and had like a bunch of makeup on the shirt. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know very much about them. I don't really care. Jimmy Swagger, I thought he was a great preacher, but then, a lot of people are falling away during the last days. But anyway, this gospel of the kingdom will be preached into all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end will come. So it's like, yes, we should be, out there witnessing to all the nations. That's why I think YouTube's a wonderful way to get the gospel out. And what is the gospel? Well, I use Romans 10, verse 9. It clearly says what the gospel is. Should I go over there now since I just want to make that point very clear that the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world, and then the end will come. So let me go over to Romans 10, verse 9. I try to put it on all of my videos, if nothing else, than in the text. When I started making videos, it was like I try to splice things together, but that takes a lot of work, and people don't really care. I mean, I made a really cool Xena video, nobody cared. All right. This is what it says. If you want to get saved, if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God is raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Not you might be saved, you could be saved. You're up for election. No, it's not like that. And it's like people go, but don't I have to do works? And nope. Well, what about nope? What? Nope. Nope. It's like you don't work for salvation. That it's a gift. It's a gift to God, lest any man should boast. But if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart, that's the part. See, believing in your heart. A lot of people can say Jesus is Lord, but they don't believe in their heart. There's a lot of people, a lot of false preachers out there that they're teaching a works-based salvation. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in their heart that God raised him from the dead. It's amazing. I'm just blown away by statistics whenever I hear them. But this is the gospel that I like to point to, that if you confess your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Period. End of story. I mean, that's it. It didn't say, and you might be saved if you do good works, and you're starting your salvation, but you got to keep working. You got to keep working. Look, the main thing is people go, well, that's just this whole grace salvation thing you guys believe in. That's like, you can just get away with murder, literally. No. Sin is going to kill you. Sin leads to death. All sin leads to death, whether it's murdering, drug abuse, fornication, all of that leads to death. Well, I don't understand. Well, you're not thinking. So, yeah, I don't want to, I'm not afraid of death, but at the same time, I don't want to have a very painful, long, excruciating trail to death, because most people that die from sinful things, they don't die like getting hit by a car really quick. If they're doing drugs, it's a long, painful process to their death, and it ages them quickly. I've met a lot of people who were, strung out on crack cocaine, whatever. Meth is a big thing. Fentanyl is the new thing. And when they get saved, it's like, there was one guy I was talking to the other day, when he said his age, I was like, oh, I'm getting old. And he's like, oh, you're doing at my age. I'm like, how old are you? He's like 52. I'm going, dude, I'm 53. I'm like, he looked older. He looked really old. And I'm like, and he used to do drugs a lot. So, drugs will age you and make your life miserable. So, you could be a Christian and still do drugs, I guess, but why would you do that? Christ freed you from that. That stuff kills you. It's not fun. It may be fun for a minute. It's just like a hangover, though. Sin's the same way. It may be fun while you're doing it, but you're going to have that uncomfortable hangover. It's going to hurt you. Anyway, so I don't want to go too long. I just wanted to say this really quick video to let you know, hey, this is the gospel, and it's not a license to sin. You don't want to sin. Trust me. It's like you might be tempted. You might fall a few times. Christians are not perfect. We're forgiven. I used to think so badly I had to be better than everybody else. No, I just had to be better than myself. So if you're trying to be holier than other people, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it for, like the Pharisees. You're saying, I want to be looking really good. No, you're like a whitewashed tomb. You're nice on the outside, but you're right on the inside. Hey, look, just confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, and you will be saved. All right, have a great day. See you guys. Well, I know I'm preaching today, evidently, but now I'm working on the video for tomorrow, the Fire by Night video. So, hey, check that out. I try to put my videos at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Fire by Night videos. So check it out. It's going to be another, hopefully we'll get to the family that I'm used to. I'm used to the family. I think when it's Vicky, Joe, and John, they're a married couple. And that's the family I watch. This family with there's 3 kids. I don't remember that third kid, the younger one. I don't remember him at all. I remember the Connie and Doug, which are actually husband and wife, and the parents that I know are completely different. So we'll get there. We'll get to those. That's going to run several years with that family concept. All right. Well, anyway, have a great night. God bless.